What if one player could defy the rules of baseball itself? Picture this, a stadium holding its breath as Shohei Ohtani steps up, not just to hit, but to change the game entirely. Every pitch could end in a blazing strikeout or a towering home run. And just when you think you've seen it all, he steals a base, leaving defenders frozen in disbelief. How is this even possible? And the crazy part? This was just the beginning. Imagine stepping into Major League Baseball and not just fitting in, but instantly standing out as something entirely different. That's exactly what happened when Shohei Ohtani arrived. People didn't just see a player, they saw a phenomenon. From the moment he put on that Angels uniform, whispers turned into roars. Could he really pitch like an ace and hit like a slugger? For fans used to traditional roles, Ohtani was rewriting the script before the first chapter was even finished. Think about it. Baseball history is filled with legends, but the idea of one guy dominating both sides of the game felt impossible in the modern era. Yet Ohtani didn't just show flashes of potential. He delivered highlight after highlight, proving his skills weren't a gimmick. When he launched his first home runs and struck out batters with blazing heat, it was like watching two superstars in one body. Fans who once doubted suddenly found themselves glued to the scores every night just to see what he'd do next. But here's the thing, greatness doesn't announce itself with a trumpet, it sneaks in through consistency. What separated Ohtani wasn't just raw talent, it was the discipline to refine both crafts simultaneously. Imagine trying to master one skill at an elite level. Now picture doing two without letting either slip. That's where his story really begins, and it's the foundation of how he'd later chase a milestone the MLB had never witnessed before. Early on, people questioned whether Ohtani's body could handle the grind of Major League Baseball. After all, pitching every fifth day is already a brutal task, and adding a full-time hitting role seemed reckless to many experts. Yet Ohtani wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. Each strikeout on the mound was followed by a jaw-dropping home run at the plate, leaving fans and analysts shaking their heads. It was as if the game's limits simply didn't apply to him. Here's the kicker, teams had no idea how to prepare for him. Do you stack the lineup expecting his power at the plate, or do you adjust for his 100-mile-per-hour fastball? Opposing managers often looked like they were solving a puzzle with missing pieces. Ohtani forced the MLB to rethink strategy itself, something few players in history can claim. The sheer unpredictability of his presence gave the Angels a weapon no box score could fully capture. And yet, while fans cheered and highlight reels exploded, Ohtani himself stayed locked in on the bigger picture. His focus wasn't about proving doubters wrong. It was about building the foundation for something unprecedented. That mindset of steady improvement and relentless consistency is what allowed him to keep stacking numbers year after year. And with each season, the whispers started shifting. Could he actually reach milestones no one in Major League Baseball had ever touched? By 2025, Shohei Ohtani had become more than a player. He was the weekly headline of Major League Baseball. In Dodger Blue, he opened the season crushing home runs while quietly preparing for his long-awaited return to the mound. Fans weren't just checking scores anymore. They were following Ohtani's box score, waiting for the next highlight. Home runs one night, stolen bases the next, and the promise of pitching again soon turned every game into an event. In a league built on numbers, his presence felt bigger than the stats. Then June arrived, and with it the moment the baseball world had been holding its breath for, Ohtani pitching again after nearly 2 years. His fastball exploded, his splitter danced, and the Dodger Stadium crowd roared with every strikeout. The box scores told the story. Not only did he return, but he dominated while still hitting balls over the fence. For fans, it was proof that patience pays off. For athletes watching, it was a masterclass in recovery, balanced workload, trust in the process, and resilience in the face of doubt. That return shifted the entire balance of MLB. Opponents didn't know whether to fear his bat or his arm, and managers had to adjust lineups around his dual threat. Inside the Dodgers clubhouse, the energy was different. Teammates believed October was suddenly within reach. For viewers, the takeaway was simple. Versatility changes outcomes in sports and in life. And as Ohtani's comeback lit up both mound and plate, a new question emerged. Could he really chase a season of 50 home runs and 50 strikeouts? Then came the moment that truly redefined what was possible in baseball. Ohtani reached the unprecedented mark of 50 home runs and 50 strikeouts in the same season. No player had ever combined that level of dominance as both a hitter and a pitcher, and yet Ohtani made it look natural. To blast that many balls out of the park while striking out major league hitters is something that feels closer to a video game than reality. The numbers alone tell a story, but the context makes it even greater. Each home run meant outsmarting pitchers and punishing mistakes, while every strikeout showed his ability to dissect hitters with precision. To be feared both at the plate and on the mound is something no other player of this generation could even dream of. Ohtani wasn't just excelling in two roles, he was rewriting the expectations of what one man could accomplish. Fans and analysts struggled to find comparisons because nothing in MLB history looked quite like this. Highlight reels alternated between towering blasts and devastating pitches, and every game felt like a new piece of history. For Ohtani, though, it was the same passion, competing, improving, and showing the world that baseball could be played at a level no one had imagined. The 50-50 milestone didn't just make history, it redefined it. When the regular season came to an end, there was no debate left. Shohei Ohtani stood as the undisputed most valuable player. With his 55 home runs and 62 strikeouts, he had created a season unlike any the league had ever seen. Analysts ran out of superlatives, and even fellow players admitted they were witnessing something generational. Ohtani wasn't just winning games, he was reshaping the very definition of what value meant in baseball. The MVP conversation this year feels less like a debate and more like a countdown. Analysts point out that Ohtani's numbers, 55 home runs and 62 strikeouts, have no precedent in the game's history. Fans across the world, from Tokyo to Los Angeles, are already anticipating the announcement, wondering if he will once again be recognized as the most valuable player in baseball. The sense is clear. If there was ever a season built for an MVP, this might be it. But for Ohtani, awards have never been the ultimate goal. In his interviews, he projects the same quiet humility, the joy of playing the game he loves, the responsibility of representing millions of fans, and the relentless drive to push beyond limits. That's what makes his candidacy for MVP so powerful, not only the stats, but the spirit behind them. And as baseball waits for the final verdict, one question remains: what more can Shohei Ohtani possibly achieve? Ohtani's season didn't just dominate the stat sheets, it transcended borders. In Japan, his games turned into national events, with fans gathering in the middle of the night to watch history unfold live. In the United States, stadiums sold out wherever he played, as people wanted to say, "I was there when Ohtani made history." His performances created a bridge between cultures, proving once again that baseball is a truly global game. The media impact was equally staggering. Social networks overflowed with highlights, breaking records for views and engagement. Kids wore his jersey not only in Los Angeles and Tokyo, but across Latin America, Europe, and even places where baseball wasn't traditionally followed. Ohtani became more than an athlete. He turned into a symbol of possibility, showing that boundaries in sports are only as real as the imagination allows. Beyond the numbers and the fame, Ohtani's legacy was immediate. He inspired a new generation of players who no longer had to choose between pitching and hitting, proving that excellence in both was possible. Coaches, fans, and even front offices started rethinking what the future of baseball could look like. And as the world celebrated his record-shattering season, one truth became clear: Ohtani had changed the game forever. Ohtani's 55 home runs and 62 strikeout season isn't just a record, it's proof that limits exist only if you let them. But as breathtaking as the regular season was, the real question now is this: what can he do in the playoffs? Can he carry this historic form into October, when legends are truly made? Baseball's biggest stage has a way of testing even the greatest, and fans around the world are waiting to see if Ohtani can add another unforgettable chapter to his story. And here's the challenge for you. What would happen if you pushed your own boundaries the way he did? Could you achieve more than you ever imagined? Don't just watch history, create it. And if you loved this breakdown, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and join us as we follow Ohtani's journey into the postseason and beyond.